Well, the National Security Ministry has assured that its systems are always primed to deal with violent extremism that threatens the security of the country. There have been reported terrorist attacks in neighboring countries, putting Ghana's security services on high alert. The ministry is receiving support from the Global Community Engagement and Resilience Fund. My colleague Kweku Asante was at this news conference and our report.
Violent extremism and terrorism has become such a big issue at Ghana's borders, and the Ministry of National Security says it is really up to task in dealing with these matters. It says it has primed up its specifics to ensure that whenever there is any threat to Ghana's security, it can move to combat same. According to the Chief Director of the National Security Ministry, this partnership with GSEF will lead to enhanced cooperation to deal with security issues in the country.
It is imperative that we address the pressing issue of terrorism and violent extremism that continues to plague our sub-region and now threatens to trickle down far south towards Ghana. The rise of terrorism in neighboring countries poses a significant threat to our national security and stability. It is crucial that we recognize the interconnectedness of the threats, and we need a collaborative effort to be able to combat them effectively. We are also trying to prevent any radicalization of our citizenry in the border community areas. We must employ non-kinetic approaches, that is the soft approaches, to address the root causes of these issues, including socio-economic disparities, marginalization, and ideological grievances.
Board chairman of GSEF says they are mobilizing enough resources to be able to support countries like Ghana to deal with this, especially with the threat coming from the Sahel being so dangerous.
Objective is to put GSEF expertise and experience to the service of the plan of the government, in particular by the President, if I may say, because we had the opportunity to talk about that time ago, to, let's say, intervene in order to counter the threats which are coming increasingly towards the coastal state, including Ghana, coming from the north, basically, coming from the tensions which are existing in the Sahel.
So security analyst and executive director of the West Africa Center for Counter-Extremism, Mutaru Muni Mukhtar, has been delivering a presentation on the threats that this country faces in terms of terrorist activities, especially at the border communities.
In northern Ghana, there are issues of religious clashes, but Tamale is uniquely different in the sense that there are often, nearly every year, there are clashes between the Sunni Al-Sunnah group as well as, with the Tijaniya sect. And this usually comes around the time of Ramadan, which is in about, a month now. We would see that feature strongly. We're seeing nationally, of course, the issue of hijab ban in educational and health institutions. These are things that are very prominent, especially in Muslim-dominated areas in northern Ghana. We're seeing marginalization along ethnic lines, but more uniquely, the Fulbe problem, the traditional Fulani ethnic group. This is the single biggest and most persecuted, ethnic group in Ghana. And the northern part is very, very pervasive. Looking at issues of unresolved chieftaincy and ethnic disputes. Chieftaincy and ethnic disputes is the single biggest source of fatality and insecurity. And Boko, of course, we all know Boko continues to be a big problem. But what we have realized is that in the last 2 years, Boko has escalated in many ways, and maybe we will talk about the details in terms of the escalation. And the reason unresolved conflicts is a big driver or a big factor is that extremist groups are very exploitative. They take advantage of existing conflicts, either to recruit or to engage in attacks.
This partnership will get the country up to $3 million, which will be disbursed in the coming months to deal with these extremism issues in the country. And the Ministry for National Security says this partnership is crucial to deal with these security concerns in the country. Reporting for Joy News, Kweku Asante, National Security Ministry, Accra.